Welcome to Star Citizen and an XXL free fly guide. From the 18th of August, the free fly event starts on the occasion of the implementation of the gas planet Crusader and the landing zone Horizon into the game. Not only existing players, but also those who do not yet have a game package or an account will have the opportunity to try out special ships for free and test the unrestricted scope of the game. And in order to give all new players, newcomers and those who are interested a short overview of what to expect and how you can take your first steps in Star Citizen, you will learn in this guide all the important basic settings and functions which you need for your first steps in the verse. And here I will show you the necessary standard keys to the respective areas directly, so you do not have to search long for the appropriate key or option. Because especially at the beginning, Star Citizen is in many areas much more immersive and simply much larger than most other games. Here we really enter a new universe, which contains many extensive possibilities, but also various pitfalls, and due to the still in alpha development, of course, the one or another bug. And if you want to know more about individual areas, you can find here in the channel dedicated XXL guides to all activities and all areas in Star Citizen. Alternatively, feel free to check out our Discord, we are happy to help. If you don't have an account yet or haven't purchased a game package or something similar, you can use the bonus code shown or the direct link to get a free bonus ship worth about $55, which will still be available for a few weeks. And of course, you can also use the code of a friend. Using a code or the link, you can create a new account and automatically receive a Drake Dragonfly, as soon as a minimum purchase of $40 is generated on this new account. This is a starter package, which you need to play after the free fly event. And you can upgrade this bonus ship to a bigger ship at any time, which can save you about $40. Otherwise, you can just use the ship unlimited, which will stay permanently in your account. As soon as you have created an account or logged into an existing one, you can download and install Star Citizen via the launcher, even without a game package during the free fly event, which means that you have already fulfilled all the requirements for your journey into the verse. After the installation, you get into the game via the launcher, and there via Launch Game, where we first make some settings which can often be confusing, especially for beginners. It should be mentioned in advance that Star Citizen has not yet been extensively optimized and that triple-digit FPS numbers cannot be achieved even on high-performance gaming PCs. Extensive performance and optimization tips, which can make significant differences, can also be found in the performance guide here in the channel. After we have arrived at the main menu, we find some settings in the lower left corner under the options, which I would recommend at the beginning. Under the first tab, Game Settings, we disable vibrations, further down the look ahead functions for the pilot and turrets, also automatic head movements of your character as well as camera shake. This way you won't be irritated by automatic view changes. And the performance guide here in the channel, which offers you many possibilities, I already mentioned. Therefore, we limit ourselves in the area of the graphic options, first to the most basic performance and optics settings. For performance reasons, it's a good idea to switch to a frameless window mode, set a planet volumetric clouds to medium, deactivate VSync, sharpening, chromatic aberration and film grain. The quality settings themselves have no noticeable performance effect. With a click on Back, we get back to the main menu, where we start with the character creation by clicking on Persistent Universe in the upper left corner. Here we have extensive possibilities to customize our character, but a tip: do not use too much time here, because our character can be reset optically again and again. But this does not affect our game progress. It remains. Afterwards, we select the first entry point into the verse via Select System, whereby we have 4 different landing zones on different planets to choose from. Horizon on Crusader is the newest zone here, but the performance here is rather strained. My recommendation therefore lies on the start in Lowville or Area 18, whereby we start in this guide from Lowville. With the server selection, whereby we leave this first on best, we have the possibility different server regions to select. Welcome to the verse! With the Y or Z key we can stand up, with the W, A, S, Z keys and the mouse we can move like in any shooter. In your spawn area, you can get acquainted with the controls and take your first steps. And to open the door of your room, we need another important key. By pressing and holding the F key in combination with the mouse, we enter the interaction mode, which we use regularly. With a click in the interaction mode, we can interact with objects directly. We move with the movement keys, and in combination with the shift key we sprint. By pressing F4 we can switch through the different camera settings, which also works in vehicles or ships. And by scrolling the mouse wheel up or down, we can vary our movement speed on foot as well as in the spaceship. And the scrolling of the mouse wheel also had the advantage in interaction mode, with the F key pressed, that we can zoom in or out with it. So we can look around better after we don't have a minimap or map on foot. We are looking for the exit here, which is often elevators. Again, we must first call the elevator in interaction mode, with different waiting times possible depending on the location of the elevator. Our next goal is the spaceport, whereby we make for this a little speed and accelerate the video. In all cities and landing zones, we move with trains or shuttles, which have different lines and stops. You can also find overviews of these in the detailed beginner's guides. When we arrive at the spaceport, we have our ship brought to a hangar for takeoff, which is done via the ship terminals. In interaction mode, we can use the console and click on Retrieve to bring our ship into a hangar or on space stations to a landing pad. Here we are shown the location, as well as a hangar or pad number, which we need immediately. Because we go again with an elevator to appropriate hangar or pad. And there stands our ship, ready for takeoff, where we can see with markings, depending on the ship, where we can get into the ship. If we go to such a point, we can either enter a cockpit directly, call an elevator or open a ramp. Once in the cockpit, we again use the interaction mode by pressing the F key and using the mouse. Here we can then trigger ship functions and various points via the interaction mode or use hotkeys and keyboard commands. We press the R key, ready, to make our ship airworthy. This will power up all ship systems and we could take off. On the left side we get a speed indicator as well as a small square. We can move this up and down again using the mouse wheel, and we should stay in the light area, which represents our possible maximum speed. No time for regret. The right bar shows us our current flight altitude, and the small lines with numbers give us the vertical inclination. Last but not least, we have a horizontal degree indication in the upper area. Other elements are the ship's weapons and the fuel gauge for normal and quantum flight. And of course, we will go into all these areas in detail in the detailed XXL beginner's guides. For launch, we need clearance for hangar doors to open, which is possible via several functions. We use one of the multifunction displays, which all ships use. Here again in interaction mode, we can select a menu item, communications, and then call landing service, which automatically gives us a clearance. We are ready to launch and give thrust up with the spacebar and thrust down with the control key. Lateral thrust movements, as well as looking around and changing the nose position, we effect with the movement keys as well as the mouse. Rolling to the left and right is possible with Q and E. And as already on foot, we can change our different camera positions with the F4 key. And we should not forget our landing gear, which we can retract and extend with the N key. Here we also get the display in the cockpit under gear, which shows whether the landing gear is active or retracted. And to finally take off from the planet, we move upwards with the mouse, using about 70 degrees as a slope at the beginning. This differs depending on the mass and thrust of the individual ships. By pressing and holding the W key, we then give thrust until the maximum speed set with the mouse wheel is reached. And our altitude indicator tells us if we are taking off successfully. On most planets, an altitude of about 10,000 meters is sufficient to be able to switch to the quantum drive and jump to another destination. To do this, we select the route menu with the F2 key, and we can change the view with a double click and the mouse wheel. We select the space station Everest Harbor as the first destination, which lies directly above our starting point. With a click on Set Route, this route is activated and we get a small marker in the cockpit, which moves depending on the position of the target. To jump to the target, we point the ship's nose at it and press the B key, which activates our quantum drive. After it is charged and calibrated, we can then initiate a jump by holding down the B key. And using this method of travel, we cover enormous distances. All through the range of jumps again depends on ship and equipment. We approach the space station and again need a landing clearance. This we can achieve again over a multifunction display as with the start. However, we have with the key F1 also a menu whereby we find far left down with Comlink, here under the tabs Friends, all stations within range and their clearance can receive. Once we have received this, we again receive a marker, which is either displayed as a symbol or already shows our landing site. This is a landing pad, an external landing area, for which we again extend our landing gear with the N key and give downward thrust with the control key in order to touch down. Here we can either leave our ship and enter the station, or we take off again to earn our first credits. For this we first refuel again using the menu, the F1 key and selecting the repair symbol. We can give different orders. Over the same menu and the contract manager there, we get a multiplicity at activities and missions offered, whereby we dedicate ourselves under the point Mercenary to a Stop Illegal Surveillance mission. And after there are various possibilities to earn credits, we dedicate ourselves exemplarily to a simple but lucrative space mission. Detailed guides to the different ways of earning credits in the verse can be found in the channel. For our accepted mission, which is also displayed as a marker, we perform a quantum jump again by activating the drive with the B key, as well as performing the jump by holding the B key after calibration. Arrived at the destination point, we deactivate the jump drive by pressing B and fly to the target area with the control keys. Here we have to find and deactivate 3 hidden satellites. By pressing the Tab key, we send out a scan which shows us markers in space, which we can approach. With another scan with Tab, we narrow down these areas until we find the satellites. By pressing the T key for target, we can set them as targets, and by pressing the mouse buttons, we can fire our ship's weapons at them. And after we have found and taken out all 3 of these satellites, we have completed our first mission and receive a substantial payment for it. Congratulations! So we are 20,000 Alpha UEC, the credits richer, and can leave the area again with our quantum jump drive and accept the next mission. And since Star Citizen is very complex and extensive in many areas, I recommend the dedicated XXL Beginner's Guide, where we go into all areas in detail and extensively. You get different ways to get into the different career areas, as well as some tips and tricks on the way, which can make the start much easier for you. But also, you will find at any time in our Discord contact persons and help for all your questions and problems. Just drop by. Because especially with other players, Star Citizen offers a clear added value and can play its strengths even better, because the journey together through the verse is often much more exciting and of course associated with much more fun. And of course, you are also invited to our almost daily Twitch live streams, where you can also find like-minded people, as well as ask all questions about the different areas. We look forward to welcoming you to Star Citizen and the verse. I hope you enjoyed the video and leave me a like and maybe even a subscribe here. Getting started in Star Citizen isn't always easy, and because of the immersion and simulation feel, it lacks many common mechanics like a minimap, tutorials and more. But it offers exactly that, a very high immersion and simulation, which is so far unique in this form for many areas. But as always, I'm interested in your opinions on the subject. Have you ever tried Star Citizen? Feel free to write me in the comments, in the Discord or the almost daily Twitch live streams. And as always, the most important at the end, a big thank you to all Patreons, channel members and Twitch subscribers. Without you, this would not be possible in this form. You are a huge motivation. Thank you for your support. You rock! And of course, there will be extensive giveaways again this month. How you can participate and what to expect you can see in the following announcement trailer. I say goodbye, until next time. See you soon, and as always, see you in the verse.